Three races into the 2025 Haas IndyCar Series season, and we've had three very unique races. Started out the season off at the Auto Club Speedway, then went out to the California desert in Riverside, California for the Riverside International Raceway, and then went out to Austin, Texas at Circuit of the Americas for the last race out last week. This week we return to the California desert, here to another fast, sweeping road course similar to Riverside, but this time we're here in Rosamond, California, and we're here at the Willow Springs Raceway, here for 20 laps of action here today. We'll take the checkered flag here today. We'll just have to wait and see how it all goes down here from the Lenovo Grand Prix of California. What's going on, everybody? Caleb here, and welcome to race number 4 on the 2025 Haas IndyCar Series season. We're here from the Lenovo Grand Prix of California, here from the Willow Springs International Raceway. Like I said, we are back here in the deserts here of California, here at a racetrack which, like I said, is pretty similar to the Riverside International Raceway, like we were at race number 2 of the season. However, while it is pretty visually similar, it is a little bit different in a couple of different ways. Of course, 9 pretty long sweeping corners here at the Willow Springs International Raceway, and also should differ a little bit in strategy as well, as should have a pit stop right kind of in the middle of the race, so strategy should definitely be really interesting to watch here from the Willow Springs International Raceway. A lot of times it's usually where the race is won, but it'll definitely be interesting to see how everything goes down here after 20 laps here from the Willow Springs International Raceway. But I guess we will start things out here with your usual pre-race festivities. Taking a look here at your point standings heading into the 4th race of the season. It is John Andrews still up at the top of the charts, and he's got a 9-point lead over last week's winner at Circuit of the Americas, Tanner Parton, who has moved up to 2nd place in points. He is 9 points behind our point leader, John Andrews. And looking further on down the point standings, 3rd in points coming in is Angel Olvera, 24 points behind our points leader. 4th in points is Zachary Fitzwater, 28 points back. 5th in points is Bradley Bradshaw, 41 points back. And you got Brendan Wilmington in 6th, 44 back, and Wilmington is tied with Arja Baranowskis there. They are both 44 points back. And then 8th, you've got Avery Alford, 47 points back. 9th is Bruno Diacomo, 52 points back. And rounding out your top 10 in points, we've got Chris Reynolds. He is 54 points behind John Andrews coming in. But starting on the front row for this race, we've got 2 drivers who are up there in the top 10 in points. Pole sitter there is the number 41 of Bruno Diacomo there for Trackhouse Racing. Like I said, he's coming into this race 9th in the point standings, so good opportunity for him to potentially make up some ground. He's starting alongside a driver who's had a really strong start to the season, coming in tied for 6th in points. That's the number 98 of Brendan Wilmington. Both these guys have a really good shot at potentially getting the win here today. They've got the track position. We'll just have to see how they do out on the racetrack. And John Andrews in the 79, starting about midway through the field, so he's definitely got a little bit of work cut out for him, but we'll just have to wait and see how everything goes down here from the Willow Springs International Raceway. But with all that being said, I think it's about time we get these guys rolling here from the Willow Springs International Raceway, and as they do, we'll take a quick look here at your starting lineup here for the Lenovo Grand Prix of California. Of course, as aforementioned, on the pole we've got the number 41 of Bruno Giacomo, and he's starting alongside the number 98 of Brennan Wilmington. Row 2, we find the 39 of Dylan Matthews starting alongside yet another driver. Starting up here towards the front with his top 10 in points, that is the 52 of Zachary Fitzwater. Row 3, we've got the 80 of Chris Reynolds starting alongside the 88 of Anthony Hernandez. Row 4, we've got second in points coming in, Tanner Barton starting alongside the 55 of Noah Clifton. And rounding out your top 10, we've got the 04 of Luna Lona starting alongside the 07 of Bradley Bradshaw. Race info will be on the bottom left-hand side of the screen. Of course, 20-lap race here today, usual 30 entries. And yeah, the pit window should be about 10 to 12 laps. But that ought to definitely be really interesting to watch out for. And we've got a lot of previous winners in this race. 2023 winner Chris Reynolds is starting up here inside the top 10. You've also got Angel Olvera, who won this race last year, starting at the tail end of the field. Have to see if he can make up any ground here from the Willow Springs International Raceway. But alright, here we go. Pace car is going to make the right-hand turn into the pit lane. And it's going to be Bruno Giacomo and Brennan Wilmington who's going to lead the field down the front straightaway to the green flag. We're racing here from the Lenovo Grand Prix of California from the Willow Springs International Raceway. As they come down here into turn 5 and turn 6, that was a good jump off the start for Giacomo, but it's Wilmington who's going to get the lead back as they go through the rabbit's ear, and now he is clear for the race lead now as we head into the sweeper turn 8 and into turn 9. Dylan Matthews in the 39 is going to settle into the third position, and we're side by side for fourth as we go through turn 9 between Chris Reynolds and Zachary Fitzwater. It looks like Fitzy is going to get the better of that, but Reynolds is staying with them. But lap 1 complete here from the Willow Springs International Raceway, and it is, I believe, last year's pole sitter with the lead at the moment, but Giacomo's still hanging on the gearbox of that 98. Dylan Matthews not too far behind. Chris Reynolds is going to hold on to the fourth position there. We got Anthony Hernandez settling in 6th, 3 wide. 4th, I believe that'll be the 7th position with Lona, Tanner Parton, and Noah Clifton. That could have been a bit antsy there, but luckily they're going to make it through cleanly. And it's going to be Luna Lona getting the better of the other two in that battle, so Lona will move up to 7th. We got a battle, I guess, now here for 8th between Noah Clifton and Tanner Parton. And battle for the 10th position potentially heating up between Jay Knapp and Bradley Bradshaw. But the top 3 have kind of pulled away just a little bit from the rest of the field. And it's still the 98 of Brennan Wilmington holding on for the time being. Looks like I haven't had any incidents yet, which is good. Willow Springs can be a pretty chaotic track at times. We definitely saw that being the case last year. Had a lot of bizarre accidents in last year's race, but they've kept it clean so far here. Still, though, doesn't completely push aside the opportunity for some potential chaos. We'll have to wait and see just how everything plays out. Giacomo trying to close in once again on the number 98 of Brennan Wilmington. It's going to be on the gearbox of that 98 as we come into turn 8 and turn 9. Dylan Matthews has kind of dropped off a little bit and is potentially going to fall into the clutches of Chris Reynolds and Zachary Fitzwater. Coming to complete lap number 3 here, Bruno Giacomo is right there on the wing of the 98 of Brennan Wilmington. Still going to stay in behind for the time being. Taking a peek down to the inside as they go through Castro Corner. He's going to have the advantage. Wilmington's going to shut the door. And that's going to cost Giacomo a little bit of time there. Wilmington probably did have a bit of an advantage there as they go through the rabbit's ear. Up the hill through turn 4 and past, or up the hill turn 3 and past turn 4, Budweiser balcony. And Wilmington has been able to pull away just a little bit from Bruno Giacomo, who's now fallen back into the hands of Dylan Matthews. Looking through here, Noah Clifton has officially settled in the 8th position. Bradley Bradshaw has in the 07 has moved up to 9th. Tanner Parton now is the last car in the top 10. Jay Knapp is in 11th. Justin Zidell there in the 75 and 12th. 13th is the 33-year BB Ruiz, right of his teammate, the 27 of Ace Garcia. And John Andrews settling just about where he started there in the 15th position. But as they run right now, Tanner Parton would definitely gain a lot of points on the 79 of John Andrews, especially when you get up here into the top 10. There is a lot of points to be awarded, so if they stay how they are right now, I wouldn't be surprised if Tanner Parton were to take the points lead. Although it might be pretty close between Tanner Parton and Zachary Fitzwater. But regardless of the fact, that is then and this is now. You're in lap number 5, and it is still Brennan Wilmington out in the lead. Bruno Giacomo potentially under fire from the 39 of Dylan Matthews to the inside. Goes the 39 as we go into the sweeper. Matthews is going to have a huge advantage here through turn 9 as well, and it looks like Matthews will clear for the 2nd position. Here comes the 80 of Chris Reynolds, who's going to try to follow through the open door, and he's going to take the 3rd spot away. Giacomo is going to fall to the 4th position, and now here comes his teammate, the 52 of Zachary Fitzwater. At the 25 of Thomas Troxel all the way at the back of the field, a little ways behind the field, so something might have happened with the 25 of Thomas Troxel. If something did, I'll put a replay on the screen, but to say it has been a rough start to the season for our reigning series champion would be an understatement. Switched over to Team Williams here for this season, and it's been a bit of a rough go at it, and we got some skid marks there going into Budweiser balcony, so I would assume that is probably what went down. Man, I hate to see that though for Thomas Troxel. It's been a rough start to the season for him, and it seems to just be getting worse and worse for our reigning series champion. Up front, it is still the 98 of Brennan Wilmington. Right now with about almost a 7/10 gap back to the 39 of Dylan Matthews. And we got Chris Reynolds right now rounding out your podium places. Anthony Hernandez trying to close on the 52 of Zachary Fitzwater there for the 5th position. Side by side back here for the 8th position between Bradley Bradshaw and Chris Reynolds. Boy. And there's the 23 of Jay Knapp, who actually just got past Tanner Parton there in the 8 for the 10th position. So now Knapp up here into the top 10. And some solid runs here for Jay Knapp, and Grind Autosport here in the last few weeks has been kind of picking up the pieces after the rough start to the season at Auto Club, so good stuff to see there for Jay Knapp. Heading in here to lap 8 here, the Willow Springs International Raceway. And we are kind of closing in on that cycle of pit stops. Should be about two-ish laps out, so I have to see how everything goes down. Dylan Matthews has actually been closing on the 98 of Brennan Wilmington. He's gotten that gap down to about 5/10 now. And Matthews, she's got the 80 of Chris Reynolds, not too far behind. Nakamo still kind of just hanging here in the wings of the podium places, and Fitzwater's still right behind him. J Knapp looking to move up some more ground as he tries to go after the 55 of Noah Clifton. Have to see if he can clear him before we get into the sweeper. And it looks like he will do just that. So Knapp is going to clear there for the 9th position, although Clifton is going to pull right back up to the gearbox as we go through turn 8 and turn 9. But Knapp, it looks like he is going to stay clear for the time being. Now about 4/10 the gap for the 39 of Dylan Matthews. She is really closed in on the number 98 of Brennan Wilmington here as this run goes along. Wilmington maybe a little bit wider there through the Rabbit's Ear. Matthews kind of just hugging that curb there. Wilmington going a little bit wider. Maybe trying to stay off the curb a little bit. Maybe just trying to save his stuff a little bit. That is allowing the 39 on Matthews to close in. Same for the 80 of Chris Reynolds. And a great race for Reynolds so far. Moving up into the 3rd position. I mean, that's your 2023 winner of this race. So definitely would not be surprised to see Chris Reynolds go back to victory lane here once again. Coming through turn 9, though, coming to lap number 10. And pit cycles should be opening up here, so we'll have to see what everybody elects to do. Wilmington actually pulled away a little bit that time by from the 39 of Dylan Matthews. Got a pretty big battle going on back here. You got Gutierrez, Duncan Ward, Braden Perez, and Carson Miller all in a bit of a bunch there. Back to the field, though, everyone's kind of, I guess, single filing out, preparing for pit stops, as there goes the 25 of Thomas Troxel, pitting him a little bit early there. Probably a little bit of damage on the 25, I would have no doubt, so probably just biting the bullet, bringing it in to repair that as early as possible. Should potentially still be able to make it to the end, because you can stretch it out to about 12 laps, so he should be alright. But here comes our race leaders coming through turn 8 and turn 9, and we'll have to see what everybody elects to do. And here comes the 98 of Wilmington in, and everybody else is going to stay out. Yeah, fascinating there. Wilmington, I believe, is going to be the only taker on pit road here on lap number 10. Which means he will have to go a little bit longer in the long run, however. In the short run, he should have a bit of a tire advantage, and he also does have a clean pit road compared to how it will be probably here in the next few laps, because Willow Springs, the pit lane can be pretty chaotic, so probably nice to have a clean pit road. As there goes the 98 of Brennan Wilmington out of the pit lane. Focusing in here on our race leaders, they're kind of getting into the mix of it with the 25 of Thomas Troxel, who has now gone a lap down after that pit cycle, but he has pitted, and these guys have not. Here coming, lap 11 coming to lap 12. Troxel is kind of trying to get out of the way a little bit, and yeah, here comes Dylan Matthews, Chris Reynolds, and yep, here we go. The pit lane is going to be busy this time around, as here comes most of the field, John Andrews. And the 79 is going to try something different. He's going to try and stretch it all the way to lap 12. So is the 48 of a Marcus Glitch and the 86 of Carson Miller. So we've got a little bit of interesting strategy going on as these guys come down the pit lane. We'll see what everybody elects to do. I'd imagine everyone is going to take 4 tires and fill it up with fuel, and it looks like that is indeed going to be the case. And here comes the 98 of Brennan Wilmington coming down the front straightaway. You're seeing everybody coming out of the pit lane. We got contact on the pit lane there. And Wilmington is going to stay ahead of Dylan Matthews and Chris Reynolds. We did have a bit of contact, I think, believe involving the 27 of Ace Garcia and maybe the 81 of Brad Stover. There wasn't any outstanding contact. I will put a replay on the bottom left-hand side of your screen. But now here comes all the guys stretching it to lap 12. You've got the 79 of John Andrews, 48 of Marcus Glitch, and the 86 of Carson Miller here coming in this time by. And there's the 98 of Brendan Wilmington now coming through turn 6 and 7. And heading into turn 8, the sweeper. I have to see where all these guys come out compared to everybody else. Going to be the same strategy and everything for all these guys. 4 tires and fuel. And here comes the 98 of Brennan Wilmington. And he is going to overtake these 3 guys. Dylan Matthews is going to cycle out to the 2nd position. Chris Reynolds 3rd. 4th is going to be the 52 of Zachary Fitzwater. Oh boy, that was close between Bradley Bradshaw and John Andrews. But you know what? It looks like he might gain a little bit of spots from that, as he's coming out around the 55 of Noah Clifton and the 23 of Jay Knapp, who were kind of battling there around the bottom half of the top 10. So he might come out of this here with a spot in the top 10, which would be great there for the 79 of John Andrews. It looks like that strategy might have just worked out for him. See where everybody is as they cycle through. Nicholas Samadillo in the 5. Might have had a bit of trouble on pit road or somewhere. He's kind of far behind the field. I'll put a replay on the bottom left-hand side of your screen of that. Another driver who's had a really, really rough start to the season. Hate to see that for Nicholas Samadillo. Now coming to complete lap number 13, the pits cycle has gone through. And it is the 98 of Brendan Wilmington still out in the lead, now with almost a 1.5 second lead to the 39 of Dylan Matthews. Chris Reynolds cycles out to 3rd. Fitzwater 4th. 5th is Bruno Diacomo. 6th, Anthony Hernandez. 7th is Luna Lona. 8th is Bradley Bradshaw. John Andrews cycles out to the 9th position. So, great strategy play by the 79 of John Andrews. And on top of that, he will have the freshest tires out of pretty much about all these guys. And then rounding out your top 10 for the time being, you got the 55 of Noah Clifton. Out front, Brendan Wilmington. He's gotten so close so many times to victory here in the IndyCar Series. He almost won this exact race last year for getting passed late in the going by the 41 of Angel Oliveira. So many races Wilmington coulda, shoulda, woulda won. I'm sure he definitely does not want this one to slip away either, but Dylan Matthews in the 39 might give him a run for his money here as Matthews closes in a couple tenths there. This is definitely going to be an interesting finish here from the Willow Springs International Raceway. Taking a look here through the field. Got some battling going on here between the Dog Pound Incorporated teammates and the 63 of Logan Williams, who's going to make a bit of contact there with the 81 of Brad Stover. I don't see much damage, though, on the 63 of Logan. Hopefully he should be alright after that contact. Anthony Hernandez right on the gearbox of the 41 of Bruno Diacomo. Looking for a way around, and Matthews is continuing to close on Wilmington. He gained about a second that last lap. Matthews does have about a lap fresher tires, but how much that 39 is closing is Matthews just using up her stuff, trying to close in on the 98 of Wilmington. Is Wilmington just trying to ride it around right now, trying to save his stuff. As Matthews now within half of a second of the 98 of Brennan Wilmington. 5 this time by, coming to 4 laps to go here from the Willow Springs International Raceway. Giacomo trying to fend off the 88 of Hernandez and the 04 of Luna Lona. Bradshaw trying to fend off the 79 of John Andrews and the 55 of Noah Clifton. And Wilmington trying to fend off the 39 of Dylan Matthews and the 80 of Chris Reynolds. Matthews closed in another 10th that last time by. And yeah, Matthews is there. Matthews is there on the 98 of Wilmington, who goes a little bit wide there through the rabbits here. Oh, and he had to check up a little bit. Matthews is right on the gearbox now of the 98 of Brennan Wilmington. Wilmington trying to do everything he can to hang on to this race lead. Dylan Matthews trying to do everything she can to get by this 98 car. And you've got Chris Reynolds there in the 80 waiting in the wings in case these two potentially get together going at it for the lead. Which I honestly would not rule out as a possibility considering how Willow Springs can be. Coming to 3 laps to go here from the Willow Springs International Raceway. Although Matthews did kind of close up to the gearbox of 98 there, the gap at the line still pretty much stays the same. Wilmington's going to hug the curb there as they go through the rabbits here. Matthews goes a little bit wider. Wilmington potentially trying to play defensive here for this race lead. Matthews, though, she is right there. If Wilmington makes one slip up, Matthews is going to go right by that 98. Coming to 2 laps to go this time by. Taking a quick look since we haven't already. Carson Miller has actually got the fastest lap on the race so far, so good stuff there for him. But here we come through turn 9 down the front straightaway. 2 laps to go here from the Willow Springs International Raceway, and here we go. Matthews takes a peek to the inside as we go through Castro Corner, and she takes the lead away from Brennan Wilmington in one fell swoop. Wilmington, I don't think he's done yet. Matthews, she goes a little bit wide there through the rabbits here, and Wilmington trying to close back in once more. But what a pass there from the 39 of Dylan Matthews. Into turns 5 and 6, Wilmington trying to close back in. He doesn't want another one to slip from his grasp again. But Matthews trying to pull away with that race lead. As they come through turn number 9, here we go. The white flag is waving. 1 lap to go here from the Willow Springs International Raceway for Dylan Matthews and Evans Ross Racing. They won with Avery Alford at the Riverside International Raceway earlier on this season. And like I said, pre-race, 2 pretty similar racetracks in composition and in location. And Wilmington, maybe with those lap older tires, he's falling back from the 39 of Dylan Matthews, now trying to hold off the 80 of Chris Reynolds. But Matthews going through turns 5, turn 6, and turn 7. She's going to play the strategy game absolutely perfectly there with the lap fresher tires. And here she comes through turn 8 and turn 9. It's going to be Dylan Matthews making it 2 wins for Evans Ross Racing here in the 2025 Haas IndyCar Series season. Dylan Matthews wins the Lenovo Grand Prix of California. Brennan Wilmington, after dominating the day, brings it home second. Tough blow for Wilmington. Another win, just slipping through his fingers there. Gosh, Wilmington, I am so sorry about that one. Chris Reynolds in the 80 is going to bring it home with a podium finish. Fitzwater's going to bring it home fourth. And Diacomo is going to round out your top five there for a double top five there for Trackhouse Racing. So good stuff there for them. John Andrews is going to bring it home there in the 8th position. So despite starting kind of midway through the field, John Andrews is going to keep that top 10 streak alive here. Going 4 for 4 for top 10s here to open out the 2025 Haas IndyCar Series season. Some pretty scary consistency there for John Andrews and Otter Island Motorsports. But wow, what a race here from the Willow Springs International Raceway, and what a win there for the 39 of Dylan Matthews. Goodness gracious, wow. Wow, wow, wow. Well, taking a look here at your official results for the Lenovo Grand Prix of California, it is Dylan Matthews walking away with the race victory over Brennan Wilmington, and like I said, Chris Reynolds there on your podium. And taking a look further on down your top 10, we got Fitzwater in 4th, Giacomo in 5th, Anthony Hernandez is going to bring it home in 6th, Luna Lona 7th, John Andrews 8th, Bradley Bradshaw 9th, and Noah Clifton is going to round out your top 10. But man, like I said, what a race here from the Willow Springs International Raceway. Really got a feel there for Brennan Wilmington. Like I said, another race where he dominated that just slipped away in the end. His first win's got to be coming sooner or later. Definitely got to hope that, but wow, goodness gracious. What a race here from Willow Springs, and what a win for Dylan Matthews and Evans Ross Racing. And goodness gracious. But, my goodness. Thank you all so much for tuning in here to the Lenovo Grand Prix of California here from the Willow Springs International Raceway. Next race will be a fun one. It's the United Rentals Grand Prix at Lime Rock Park. Lime Rock Park returning here in the IndyCar Series after a, I think, about 1 year hiatus. It's going to be a fun race. It's going to be a very fun race there from Lime Rock Park. Really looking forward to it. And that race will be going up Saturday, March 22nd at noon Eastern Time. So I hope to see you all there. But once again, congratulations to the 39 of Dylan Matthews and Evans Ross Racing for winning the Lenovo Grand Prix of California. And I will see you all from Lime Rock Park. As always, you all take care and have a good one. Here is your point standings after race number 4 on the season.